Beyonce's Renaissance is one of the most influential and listened to albums in the last year, infusing dance pop with house and R&B to create the masterpiece that is Renaissance. The project was released alongside Act 1, and fans have been predicting, what is Act 2 and 3? When are they coming? Are they going to come? Are the visuals Act 2? I know you're thinking the same question. This video, we're going to break it down. We're going to analyze what is Beyonce going to do for Act 2 and 3. Let's go. So there was speculation that Act 2 was going to be the visuals or the tour announcement, but now that the tour has been announced and is going to start next month, we can assume that Act 2 is not going to be the tour. Because if it was, she would have announced Act 2 with the release of the schedule or possibly with new visuals that still haven't come yet. The fact that Beyonce has not released visuals for Renaissance that came out in July, mind-boggling, let me tell you that. Crazy. Now, my prediction for Act 2, what I think is going to happen is we're going to get a new album. I think Act 2 and 3 are going to be new records, new albums, and I've heard on the streets that Act 2 is going to be a country album. And honestly, I agree. I could absolutely see Act 2 being a good old Western country album. Now, Beyonce has already dipped her toe when it came to country music on Daddy Lessons. It was on Lemonade. She even had a remix with the Chicks and performed at the CMAs, and that performance, if you have not seen it, is amazing. I encourage you to watch it. That alone makes me think Beyonce could do country. I really think she can. Now, I think for Beyonce, it would be really strategic to go from a house album to country, because if she's really trying to tell a story of different acts, it only makes sense to use different colors in each story. So if we have a house dance album, well, the opposite of that, in my brain, is a country album. I used to work at a country radio station, and I can tell you that country music, country in its entirety, the genre, they have fierce gatekeepers. They gatekeep like no other. Country, they're almost purists to a certain extent. I once had a DJ at a country station tell me that country music is about rural living. And when it's not about rural living, it's not country. I actively disagree with that, but to each their own. And I think Beyonce, being a black woman, could do something that country's not ready for. I think if anyone could break the bubble, pop the bubble, it's Beyonce. It's the queen. It's Queen B. Put some respect on her name. What? For Beyonce to successfully release a country album, she's going to need someone from the inside, a prominent country singer, to give her a cosign, to give her the stamp of approval, to say, this one, this girl, she's with me. And if you ask me, you know who I think should do it? Is the biggest country artist right now. His name is Morgan Wallen. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Have I heard Morgan Wallen's music a lot? No. But is he selling like hotcakes? Absolutely. And Beyonce could almost use a younger country singer to give her that cosign that she needs. Now, she could definitely go with Luke Bryan. She could go with a Carrie Underwood. She could even go with a Brad Paisley. There are people who've been in country who she could easily get a duet with. But I think going with a younger artist who's really prominent, like a Morgan Wallen, would do so well. Because a lot of audiences, like me, we don't know Morgan Wallen. And a lot of audiences in country maybe don't know Beyonce as a country singer. So if there is an interest for both parties, it could actually work in a bigger way than a person who's already established. So Beyonce, Morgan Wallen, duet. Start the era with a duet. Beyonce, that's not like Beyonce, to start an era with a duet, right? Beyonce wants to make sure that the beginning of the story, the narrative of the era is her. But I think because she's going into this territory that's heavily protected and gatekept, it would only make sense to start with a duet. And I really feel a world, a romantic duet, a loving duet, a country duet would do so freaking well. So let's say Beyonce releases 12 to 14 tracks. Actually, let's do 13. She releases 13 tracks. I say out of all of those records, Make 2 or 3 of them features. Make sure you include a woman. So if you have Morgan Wallen, you know what? Let's include Carrie Underwood. If you ask me, we should include Valerie June. If you don't know her, Google her. She's amazing. Her music is French kiss. She has the ability, because she's a black woman who does country, she can connect with Beyonce because they are more alike than they are different. So I could see a world where she has Valerie June. She has Morgan Wallen. Now, for the third artist, I say let's include Dolly Parton. Blast from the past, but everyone loves her. And we're going to do a cover of Jolene. People would lose it. Beyonce covering Jolene, featuring Dolly Parton on her first country album? Get on the ride, because we're going all the way to the moon. I think for the cover of Beyonce's country album, it's Act 2, so we're gonna call it Yeehaw, A Western Time. I don't know. If you think of a name, comment below. What name would you give Beyonce's country album? I can almost see a world where every cover she's riding a horse. So the first horse was giving like Studio 64, disco horse. It's cool. I say for the next horse, give us Yeehaw. Give us Oklahoma Hills. Take us to Texas. Give us very authentic Beyonce, right? Like her in the cute horse, maybe like a barn behind her. I really want to see Beyonce for this album to lean into country aesthetics. Give us what the country people are doing. Of course, elevated in a Beyonce way. But I could see Beyonce doing something just very organic, very authentic, but also with the Beyonce swirl, right? Because ultimately she is Queen Bee. And I think no one does it like Beyonce. Now, for Act 3, I've heard Beyonce doing a rock album, and I also agree with that theory. I think a rock album, to go from house music to country to rock, would just be yet again another slam dunk in a different direction that we as fans don't see yet. So Beyonce doing a rock album. Absolutely. And we have evidence that rock does well in the 2020s. Miley Cyrus, Plastic Hearts, did very well, really showed fans another side of Miley. Olivia Rodrigo in Sour, lightly rock, but rock nonetheless. I think there is an audience that wants to hear rock music, and to see Beyonce lean into rock would be very interesting, and I think she would be successful. Now, one of Beyonce's biggest inspirations is Tina Turner, and Tina Turner brought rock and roll in the 80s and 90s to an audience that maybe didn't see a black woman playing rock. I think Beyonce, inspired by Tina Turner, could really take that flavor, that authenticity that Tina has, and bring it to 2023. Right? But a more glamorous Beyonce version, because by no means was Tina not glamorous. Super glamorous. But I think Beyonce could have the bedazzled look, right? Our queen loves a rhinestone machine, and I think Beyonce just does so well when she's glitzy and glammy, and I think we could see a fusion of rock and roll meets just like hyper femininity, hyper glamour. I just want to see Beyonce shine, but also be gritty. You know what I mean? I think Beyonce doing a rock album would honestly sell very well. She's given us a taste on Don't Hurt Yourself on Lemonade. How crazy that Lemonade has acted almost like the beginning, the nucleus of sounds that we have now heard from Beyonce. Country, Daddy Lessons on Lemonade. Don't Hurt Yourself, rock and roll on Lemonade. Our queen really did her best when it came to Lemonade. She experimented so much, and as she's moving forward, that's a touchstone for Beyonce. And I could really see a country album doing well, a rock and roll album doing exceptionally well. Now, I think for the rock album, she should definitely have features. How iconic, though, if she had Tina Turner feature on the album. Tina's like living in Germany. She's happy. She's not coming back to America. But how iconic a Tina Turner Beyonce record. That'd be great. Now, I could also see Paramore being featured on the Beyonce album. They've had a resurgence in their music, and having Paramore and Beyonce, Hayley Williams and Beyonce on the same song. Let me tell you this. Beyonce is a spectacular vocalist, but Hayley would give her a run for her money, okay? They would have a sing off. And I just want yelling. I want screaming in the microphone. I want it to be as punk as Beyonce can go. And I think the girl's a fighter. Beyonce would show us that she is the one. And I think Beyonce is so competitive that I think if she was in the room with other people who really had that sound, she would lean into it. Now, when we ask ourselves of visuals, when are we getting the visuals? Are the visuals coming? I have two theories. Theory number one, we will get the visuals when the tour starts. Somewhere during the tour, we will get the visuals for Act 1, Renaissance. If I'm being honest, I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I think the real theory that Beyonce may do, the real outcome that we may see, is that Beyonce's going to wait for all 3 acts to come out. And on the 3rd act, she's going to release the film. What the film is called, we don't know yet. I don't think it's going to be called Renaissance. But I think that there is going to be a combination of different albums into one film that's going to be released, maybe on a Netflix, on a Disney Plus. I couldn't see it on Disney Plus. A Netflix, a Hulu, possibly, maybe HBO Max. I could see HBO Max. I could see a world where Beyonce's waiting for all the music to come out. Now, I could also see a world where not every song gets a music video. Where when she comes out with 45 songs and 3 albums, maybe only half of them get videos. Now, I'm going to be honest. If anything, Beyonce this time around has really confused me. And honestly, I'm okay with it because she's given us so much. When someone gives you everything, what more do they have? So she couldn't give us another visual album with the release of a movie. We were expecting that. So I get it. No shame to the queen. I love you, Beyonce. Bow down. I get it. But there's no question in my brain that I would love to go to my TV and turn it on and play Renaissance, the visual album that I know exists. But you know what? Good thing comes to those that wait. So I'm going to be patient, wait for Beyonce, and we'll see what she comes up with. Make sure to comment below, what do you think Beyonce is going to do for Act 2 and 3? Do you think it's going to be country? Do you think it's going to be rock? What do you think? Let me know. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Remember to be a rainbow in someone's cloudy day. Because if anyone can do it, it's you. I love you. Bye.